Well, we'll see if I can try to keep this short. I'm not very good at that sort of thing, but I just thought it would. There's a point that I feel like needs to be made, um, because I feel like there's a huge, like, almost universal lack of understanding of something that to me, this is clear as day. I don't know. Of course, I've been researching things and doing a lot of research for over 30 years, So, but still, I mean, I'm going to try to simplify a concept here, okay? Let's say that your country has been taken over. Your country is ruled by some invading force or whatever that has taken control of your country. I'd just like to state something which I think should be the obvious, but after this happens, one does not elect new representatives that will serve the people, because here's a little thing about conquering, forces that conquer other countries. They they're not they're not there to serve the people who are not there to the forces that are in control do not serve the will of the people. Then what exactly is it that makes people think that they have any kind of a voice? I mean, what I mean to say is, why do you still think that you have representatives? Does anything that has been going on, as we've seen the freedom, the level of our just, we've seen so many things that have gone downhill pretty much consistently throughout my entire lifetime, basically, and it's only been going in one direction, and that's fucking straight down like a bat out of hell, like a snowball, rolling down a hill. And what part of this leads you to believe that you have representatives and they work for you and that they respond to the will of the people and that your vote is a choice to elect representatives that will represent you? Do you honestly, how could you possibly believe that that's the case? At what time in your life has that ever been the case where the person you thought was going to represent you actually represented you, or the person you wanted that you believed would really represent you would represent? I'm saying, okay, I don't know, goddamn, how can I simplify this? I feel like most people have this kind of like brain fart in their head that like has them stuck in a way of thinking that is completely illogical, okay? Let's say that Genghis Khan rolled in and the Mongol armies stormed in and conquered our fucking country or something, right? And but then he starts giving speeches, and the American people, they don't like, they don't really like what Genghis Khan is doing. They don't like what that's all about, right? But he gives speeches, and he's like, I represent you. It's about the will of the people and democracy, blah, 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 or whatever, right? Or a republic, or whatever you want to say, right? Mm-hmm. And let's say Genghis Khan holds an election, right? And do you think that if you vote, if everybody just writes a name on a piece of paper and they say, we want our guy that represents us to come to power, right? You think that when Genghis Khan conquers your country, that if there's the farce of an election, that you can get together everybody and agree on and you now you're gonna put your ballot into a box that says you don't want Genghis Khan to rule anymore, that when a huge box of ballots appears and they count them, and it turns out that the people don't want Genghis Khan to rule over them anymore. Do you believe, honestly, that if that happens, that Genghis Khan, he's just gonna ride away, him and his army are just gonna ride off into the sunset, and or that, you know, you're ever even gonna know what the actual results are? No, dude, this is how it works. It's like after a free and open election, it turns out the will of the people is to keep Genghis Khan in power, or actually, no, we have heard your will, people, and so Genghis Khan will now be stepping down. Yay! And his brother Kublai, or whatever. And now we will, you know, it's a day for freedom and liberty for our new president, Kublai Khan. Right? I'm just saying, do you think, how does your brain still think that you have representatives that your vote can change things? What makes you think that your vote or your, you know, what about what's been going on leads you to believe that your will to have things be different in a different way that you want them matters in the fucking least to the ones running the country because you wrote a name on a piece of paper? Well, it just makes no fucking sense to me how so many people, including a lot of otherwise seemingly, you know, intelligent and people that seem to look at a lot of things and they have a decent sort of a gist of what's going on in the world and so on. But it's like almost everybody is still stuck in this mindset where they think, you know, well, yeah, our country's been conquered, but we're gonna vote them out. Yeah, we've been invaded and our entire country has just been taken over, but voted. We're gonna vote. You gotta vote. We're gonna get the invaders out by voting. Is that how it works? Is that how it fucking works? You tell me.